All right. All right. We are live. So it's going to be a pretty quick one. Something I've been pontificating about for maybe the last, like, shit, 6, 7 months of my life. Probably my whole life I've been pontificating about this, but formality, or at least for most part, it's been something I've been really thinking about lately. It's something a lot of people need to really think about is what is it worth? Is it worth it? See, a lot of times in life, people don't really examine is something worth what they're doing. See, like I forgot which philosopher says, but they said the unexamined life is a life not worth living or a waste of a life, which it truly is. It really is a waste of a life. So you need to always be calculating in your head, is something worth it? Like, how, what am I doing right now? And is it going to lead me to my final outcome that I wish to achieve? And I'm going to give you guys some simple tips on how to find out if something's worth the energy and time that you're going to expend on it to be able to get what you want out of it. So, the first thing that people need to really start to examine when just going over things, don't worry about the price so much, worry about the cost. Like, price is a big thing that people look at, but they really don't examine the cost of things. So, say for example, easy one that would be for you is like your car. So, say you don't have a car, and the price of the car is maybe $4,000. It can cost you $4,000 to get a whip. Now you might be thinking, shit, that's a lot of money. $4,000. I don't got $4,000 right now. How am I going to make $4,000 and put that in? You can't be thinking like that. You got to think, what is the cost of me not having a car? Which is a better way to rephrase it. That's how you can start rephrasing a lot of things. Like, what is the cost of me not having clothes? What is the cost of me not having a place to live? What's the cost of me not eating, not drinking, probably not working out? Look at what the cost of these things not to have it. So, for example, it might cost you $4,000 for a car, but now that you have now attained a car, you now have the ability to now move about the city. You have freed up time, freed up mobility. And in return, that gives you a better feedback, which is now you have more mobility. You have more options in life to do. You get a better job. You can get over places. You can start doing side gigs. There's now more opportunity in the world for you because you now have the ability to move and maneuver. And when you don't have those ability to move and maneuver, that's a huge cost to you because now you're wasting time. So the time that you'll be on the bus wasting, sitting down, hoping that you can get back and forth on time to places, that's a big cost on your mental capacity, your mental brain capacity. It doesn't help in the long term. So by examining that and being able to buy the car, you now have the ability to now like do more. And when you can do more, you can be able to gain more. And you look at it as an investment. And that's what you need to look at all your things when you're looking at what you're doing in life. Stop worrying about the price. The price is what the price is going to be, but the price is that because there's a better outcome on the back end if you make a better cost benefit analysis. And that comes into my next part, which is, does the best case scenario outweigh the worst case scenario? See, a lot of guys get in situations because they don't measure out the best case and worst case. So a good example of this would be like, say you wanted to do a bank robbery and you're going to make $1 million if you get the bank robbery. Okay, that's $1 million. That's a great outcome of the best case scenarios, which is you're able to get the money, get out, and not be caught and live your life freely without worrying about money because now you have $1 million. But what's the worst case? Well, worst case is you get caught. Worst case, you have to kill somebody. Worst case, you die. So when you start to examine, okay, I get $1 million, or I have the possibility of dying, going to prison, or possibly taking somebody's else life, which puts me in a way worse situation. That's not a very good cost benefit analysis. So you don't rob the bank. And you need to apply that with everything, with your relationships. A lot of guys get themselves in these bad relationships because they end up going into relationships not thinking about the worst case scenario. So say you're messing with a crazy chick that you just met on a one night stand. You meet the chick on a one night stand, you think it's all gravy, and bam, poop. Now you got a baby coming out that you didn't expect with a crazy chick. So now you got to deal with baby mama drama issues for the next 18 years of your life, if not more. And it's going to set you back how many years? And all those years get set back because what was the benefit? I got to have sex with somebody and I got a nice little orgasm. That wasn't worth the cost. It wasn't worth it. And a lot of guys don't think about this when they get into like mortgages or when they buy certain cars. Like I buy a car that's $1,500 a month, but I'm only making $3,000 a month. So half my expenses go to my car. Yeah, I got this nice ass car. I could drive around with a big ass truck, but it's costing me so much, and I don't have really the money to even to afford this truck. That's a big issue. And how would you expect to solve that? You got to turn the truck back in. Now you don't have a car. Now you got a whole situation. So the downside of doing such a maneuver doesn't help you in the long run. And that's what a lot of guys don't pick up on just in life in general, is that your choices have upsides and downsides. Like one of the things I started to realize when I was thinking about becoming an electrician, I was looking at my current job situation. Yeah, I'm getting paid more. It's nice, it's comfortable, but the longevity is not very well. But when I look at the electrician shit, it's like, okay, I have a skill set that I can now apply anywhere in the goddamn world. I can travel anywhere I want, go pick up jobs anywhere I need. I'll never have to worry about work. I'll never have to worry about where I'm going to move, if I'm going to find work. Never have to worry about supporting myself. I have a essential skill that will pay me for the rest of my life and expand to other revenues of other avenues of life, because that's my best case scenario. Now, what's the worst case scenario for me leaving to this? Worst case scenario is I become a trash electrician and I still make money. So there is no downside really. The downside is like I drop out, but I still have the knowledge of what I did when I was in electrician school. So you got to really weigh these best case and worst case scenarios. This is very critical as a young man when you're aspiring to be something worth in life, because your choices that you make, they come with upside and they come with downside. A lot of things, like you look like a professional athlete. Everybody looks at the glamour of the professional athletes, but what they don't realize is they're sacrificing a huge chunk of their life to be able to be in the top 1% of a particular very competitive skill set and niche. Now, if it works out for you, that's great. Maybe you get a 10-year career, you make millions of dollars, and you can ride off in the sunset. But if it doesn't work out, the downside is now you have to restart from zero with no skill sets that are applicable to real life. So you got to really examine these things, young people. Like, this is very critical to you being able to grow and becoming the top person that you want to be. And the last thing is you got to look at is, when examining is something worth it, is, does this get me closer to my end goal, or does it create more roadblocks for me in the future? See, like one of the big things in war that you learn is they tell you stop when you have reached your goal. Don't go past your goal. Stop, reassess, reanalyze, and see, does this make sense for you to keep going? Because why? One of the failures that most generals always have in life, and this is the generals always fall into this trap, is this idea of momentum. They do perfectly what they set out to do. They conquer a territory and they subjugate it. They have control, and they think, oh, that was really good. We should keep going. And it's like, why should we keep going? Well, that means if we did this much in this war, that means we can get even more in the next war. And see, what the problem with that is, in that line of thinking, is you didn't plan for that. And because you did not plan for that, you're creating more roadblocks for yourself. So look at your goals and see, what am I doing now? Does it get me to a particular end goal, or does it create more roadblocks for me in the future? So say, for example, if you become you want to make a restaurant, and your idea originally is just, I just want to have a bunch of food trucks, and these food trucks are going to sell, and that's all I'm going to do. And then you get pretty successful at it. The next thing you're like, you know what? How about we like make a restaurant? Now you take that money that you had, you make a restaurant. Now you're in a roadblock, because your original goal was just to make maybe $200,000 just doing these food trucks. Now you have a bigger bill because now you have a restaurant you have to maintain. It's a full-time facility. You can't do it part-time. And now you're creating more roadblocks for yourself, because now you have to have safety measures. You have to have employees. You have to have electric bills. You have to pay rent. There's a bunch more roadblocks you set up for yourself because you did not think about the grand scheme of what your plan was, and you didn't develop for it. So one of the things I want guys to do is, once you get a victory, don't just keep trying to stack victories over victories over victories. Get your victory. Once you have come something, once you bought something, sit down, stop, assess your situation, think about it, then proceed to the next move. Because that's going to save you more time, instead of you just getting these situations where you're constantly falling into roadblocks because you're thinking about a cost and not enough long time frame. You're looking at like the immediate gratification of it and not playing the long term of the game. And that's really when you try and determine things if they're worth or not. It's just whether or not these things are able to bring you your particular end goal. Does the cost outweigh the price? Which normally it does if you're being smart about your decisions, you're making smart moves. And like just always examine the best case, worst case scenario. Plan for the best. No, hope for the best, plan for the worst. Always be considering what can go bad after you have already realized that this can be very good. And then once you realize things can go bad, just plan for the bad things. So, like, say, for example, you're doing a one night stand, plan for the bad, which is let me wear a condom. Maybe not let me do this. Maybe let me take a night off and think about it. Let me not go having sex when I'm drunk and not thinking about things. You got to really consider long-term strategy in all things in life. Because if you don't, there's a hard repercussion, which is called time. And time has no fucking takes no prisoners. Time makes you pay for every bad choice you've ever created in your life. And it's a good thing because it gives you the ability to rectify these mistakes if you think and strategically plan and execute upon these choices. But yeah, that's all my little thing for you guys is like just plan things out, think, move, attack, and just keep on moving. Hope you guys have a good day. Talk to you soon.